together with all of you. Starting, as we usually do, with a question that has come in advance from our global family joining us through the gifts of technology on the internet. And then we will open it up to all of you here, to any questions that anyone here might have. So don't be shy. Being a student, is it better to be antisocial or to be social? What is the right way? We should try in general not to be anti almost anything, because anti creates within us a sense of negativity. Even if it's something that we know we don't want. For example, anti-cigarette smoking or anti-drug use. These are certainly good things to be against. But if in my mind I am anti them, there's a lot of energy in my mind that is still wrapped up in thinking about cigarettes and drugs. I'm so anti-drugs that my attention and my thoughts are all filled up with drugs. It's that example that I always give. If I say, okay, close your eyes, and whatever you do, just don't think about elephants. Okay? No elephants. You can think about anything else, but no elephants. Remember, no elephants. Right? Open your eyes. So, what's our mind filled with? Right? Elephants, of course. The fact that there's a no in front of them doesn't change the fact that my mind is full of elephants. So, in general, I advise against too much anti-ness, because all it does is fill our mind, A, with negativity, and B, with thoughts of exactly what it is I am so anti. However, that being said, back to the question about to be social or not to be social. Well, having close, good connections with people is really important. We're seeing an epidemic of loneliness in the world. Massively, across the world. Yes, the pandemic, of course, created some of it, but it's not only pandemic. It was happening pre-pandemic. It has continued post-pandemic. There's an epidemic of loneliness. I forget the statistics. Usually I'm good with statistics, but I forget these ones. Of the number of people in America who don't have even one close friend. I haven't seen research for India. My guess is it's much better. India tends to be a much more social country. But the number of people who don't have even one friend they can talk to. So connection is important on a deep level, to be seen for who you are. Everybody on the street, everybody on the campus, everybody in class sees what you look like. You're thin, you're fat, you're tall, you're short, you're pretty, maybe not so pretty, handsome, maybe not so handsome, whatever it may be. Everybody sees that and judges you based on that. You need at least one person who sees you, who's not seeing your gender or the color of your skin or the size of your waist. Someone who actually sees you. So you want to make sure, to whatever extent possible, that there's someone in your life If you have 2 or 3, consider yourself extremely blessed. People who share your values, you can talk to about things that are important. They see you, they hold space for you to really be the fullness of who you are. They don't say things like, oh, if you do that, nobody's going to like you, or, oh, cool kids, don't do that. They're going to really hold space for you to blossom and be the fullness of yourself. In Sanskrit, we speak about it as Sangha, the Sangha, that community. And it's so important that actually in the Buddhist tradition, of the 3 things that we pray that we are taking refuge in, the prayer says, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Buddha, in the awakened one. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Dharma, the path, the way. And Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Sangha. So it's that important to have, again, it could be 1, it could be 2, it doesn't have to be 50. It certainly doesn't have to be 500. But there should be someone, as you're walking your path, who sees you and who you can share openly with without worrying about being criticized or made fun of or anything like that. But the dilemma with the way that the social life works in university, she's a student, so maybe not university, maybe high school, college, university, somewhere. The dilemma with the way that our social life, in most of our student years, but also sadly into some of our adulthood works, is it's empty. It's completely empty, and it's therefore an utter and complete waste of time. You go to a party, there may be 100 people, there may be 500 people there, but you don't actually walk away from that party feeling any more deeply connected. You haven't actually looked in someone's eyes and felt their heart and had a connection. All you've done is moved through people who to you look like objects. Oh, he's hot. Oh, she's hot. Oh, maybe I'll talk to them. Oh, why doesn't she want to talk to me? Oh, maybe I'll get him to talk to me. We move through just objectifying people and objectifying ourselves. Don't I look great? Aren't I beautiful? Aren't I the best dancer? And all it does is get us more and more stuck in a box of self-objectification. So I'm not anti-parties. I would never say don't go to a party. But if you're, as a student, having these questions and therefore deeply introspecting, I would never say, oh, you should go to more parties. Make sure you go to more parties. If you enjoy them, no problem. But try to spend as much time as possible. I mean, our student years are so busy. All of our lives are busy, but especially student years. So little time is left that's not in class, in studies, in sports, with family. Try to spend that time in something that actually enriches you. Go out with one person or 2 people and actually have a meaningful connection. Do something that at the end of the day or the end of the evening you actually feel enriched, seen, supported, deeper. You've experienced something, you've learned something. that's the type of social that we need. These days, everybody's got thousands and thousands and thousands of friends on Facebook. And every year we're having more and more friends online while our loneliness is going up and up. So there's clearly a zero correlation between the number of friends I have online and my internal sense of loneliness. But a lot of the friends we have in this very superficial social circle aren't actually any more deep or meaningful or beneficial to our lives than friends we have on Facebook. In fact, if you're honest, a lot of people feel they're most lonely in big parties or surrounded by lots of people. Because that's when we're so acutely aware, my God, nobody actually sees me, nobody actually knows me, I'm just an object, I'm just the clothes I'm wearing. I don't actually know anyone or see them. And it actually, in many cases, makes us feel even more lonely. So be social, no problem. But be consciously social. Whatever we do, we should do it consciously. Is this actually something that is enriching me and deepening me and getting me closer to where I want to go? But thank you for a beautiful question. Any questions here that anyone here has? Yes. Just keep your hand up so he can see you to bring you the microphone.
Thank you for taking my question. So I'm involved in a civil lawsuit and a divorce suit from a man who's turned out to be very angry and hateful. So I'm working on myself every single day to be trusting, have faith, and surrender.
Yeah. Was there more, or?
Just wanted to
Yeah.
know if I wish I knew the outcome, but is there anything else I could do other than, surrender and have faith that everything is going to be okay?
Well, there's two aspects here. There's a logistic and pragmatic aspect, and there's an emotional, spiritual aspect. In most cases where people have someone in their lives who's hateful and angry and mean, and we deal with it on an emotional and spiritual level. In a divorce lawsuit, you're also dealing with logistics. You're dealing with houses and money and things like that. My dad is actually a divorce lawyer in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and so I grew up hearing stories around the dinner table. He was never allowed, of course, to give anyone's names, but stories around the dinner table of what people who were getting divorced did to each other. Civilized people, professional people, educated people, cultured people, like cream of the crop of sort of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Hollywood world. And you would not believe the depths to which people sank in their divorces. Every day he'd come home with different stories of, oh my God, what this person did, what that one did. Things just to harm the other, just to spite the other. On that level, on a logistic level, let your lawyers take care of it. That's what they're there for. Don't get involved. You're too emotionally involved. They'll handle it. It's a shame that you've got to deal with those logistics while you're also dealing with the emotional and spiritual aspect, but that's just the package deal of that aspect of life. So you let your lawyers deal with it. They'll work out whatever's a fair deal, and I can promise you it'll never feel fair. But this is a time where then the emotional and the spiritual element comes in, even if he were not being hateful and mean, of really asking yourself, what is my ultimate goal? You say, I don't know what the outcome is. Well, on some level, you get to determine the outcome. You may not get to determine exactly how many pieces of furniture you're going to get, or how much of a monthly payment he has to make to you or you have to make to him. But your way of seeing this, seeing him, reacting to it, does actually play a huge role in the outcome. When we are hurt and angry, all we want is to make the other person hurt. And I learned this. I learned this when I was very young, listening to these stories of divorce, and then I've learned it in my years on a spiritual level. When someone is hurt and angry, they do things that in many cases make absolutely no sense, don't actually benefit them in any kind of meaningful way, but just to hurt you. And what that means is the more you react, the more you push back, the more they're going to keep doing exactly what they're doing. The more it seems that what they're doing is hurting you, the more they'll keep doing it. My suggestion is, it would be beautiful and wonderful and ideal to be able to separate in as loving a way as we come together. Hurt and not necessarily very deep spiritual seekers. Stop allowing your energy to be determined by him. Have as little to do energetically with him as possible. It will diffuse the situation. Let the lawyers handle the logistics. You work on your emotions, your psychological work with your friend circle. Do not expect him to treat you in any different way than he's treating you. Don't expect anything from him. If you think about you and me holding on to separate ends of a cord, and we're both pulling the cord, and there's a lot of tension in the cord. If just one of us lets go, 100% of the tension in the cord disappears. It doesn't take both of us to let go. Only one of us has to let go. If you let go of your end of that cord, the tension dissipates. He may eventually come around, he may never come around. Now is a time for you to move forward. Heal yourself with your Sangha, your community, your spiritual practice, your work. Pray for him. Pray for him every day. Pray for him. May he be in peace. May he be in peace. May he not suffer. May he find joy and love. Really send him that love. Send him that prayer. And it'll help slowly, slowly heal your heart. And then the rest will be taken care of logistically. But don't get yourself wrapped up in the emotions of, why is he being like this? He should be different. He's going through his karmic journey with his karmic package and his toolkit. But that's his responsibility. His karmic journey is not your responsibility. But now is the time to unhook your karmic journey from his. You had this time together. The threads of your life were interwoven. Now is the time to separate that. And so stop expecting, stop having an attachment that my happiness, my peace is going to be determined by how he treats me, how he speaks, what he does. If his actions and words had the power to make you happy, you wouldn't be divorcing him. Right? I mean, obviously, without even knowing your story, the simple fact that you're getting divorced means obviously he was not a safe place to hook your happiness into, to hook your peace into, to hook your mental state into. Not a safe place to have an expectation of love, of care, of loyalty, of tenderness. So what makes you think that in getting divorced, suddenly he's going to become a safe place to hook your emotions into? Now is the time for you to unhook that and go within. Go within. Drop internally. You'll find it. And in your prayer for him, your heart will heal. And hopefully he will heal as well. Prayer really works. Beautiful. Other questions? Yes. Preeti, just 1 second. Tell Ayush that if they by any chance leave before I finish Satsang to get all the contact details, my books and cards. Yes,
Thank you so much.
of course.
And sorry in advance for my private question, but it seems like I have only one opportunity to ask you in person. My name is Vera, and I came to India from Russia. And I would like to ask you how to become a part of Parmarth Niketan and Shakti Foundation community. How to serve here, to live here, explore here, and be part of. This is my private question.
Beautiful. So, to be a part of us, you're already a part of us. There's no membership forms or fees or dues or premiums or anything like that. But it's beautiful that you want to be here and to serve. I think the best thing would be is after satsang, maybe Tiffany can meet with you and you can talk about some ways that you can serve here. It would be beautiful to have you. Welcome. Yes, and the Divine Shakti Foundation, that's our foundation for women and children and education and programs. So absolutely, we'd love to have you with us. We need more Shakti for Shakti. So Shakti in Sanskrit, it literally means energy. It's that power, but it's the power of the Divine Mother, the power of the Mother Goddess, the different aspects of her, the different forms of her, the different power of her. But it also is used to refer to women and girls. And so the name of the foundation is Divine Shakti Foundation, that's working for women and girls to discover their power through education and training and empowerment. So we need more Shaktis working for Shakti. So wonderful. Thank you. Yes. Namaste.
We're so happy to be here with you. And I'm with a beautiful group of souls who have been called to take pilgrimage in Mother India. And we would be blessed to hear from you. What is the heart of pilgrimage? What is the attitude of the pilgrim? And where does the pilgrim arrive, perhaps?
Beautiful. So, the beautiful thing of the journey of the pilgrim is that the journey is the destination. The difference between a pilgrim on a journey versus a businessman going to work is, or even somebody flying off somewhere for some other reason, is for the other person it's all about the destination. For the pilgrim it's the journey. We just got back from a beautiful pilgrimage up in the mountains to Gangotri and Yamunotri, the source of Ganga and the source of Yamuna. And one of the things we were talking about along the way is that the journey of pilgrimage begins when you leave home. It was a message I was giving a lot, as you saw, a little too much trash that people were leaving along the way. And so we were sharing with others this fact and this beautiful truth and teaching that it's not that when you get to the temple, then that's your pilgrimage, but when you leave from home is your pilgrimage. And so every step along the way is your pilgrimage. And so you recognize that the ground you are walking upon is the holy ground. And so you take care of it on a logistic level. But you also recognize on an internal level that your journey is every step of the way. And so it means that there should be that spirit within. That ultimately where you're going is an inner destination. ये माइक बंद कर दो है ना कुछ आवाज़ yeah, thank you. Ultimately where you're going is an inner destination. You can see all of the temples in the world. You can see all of the holy sites in the world. But if your heart's not open, they're just buildings. You might as well stay home and look at postcards and eat pizza. And simultaneously, you could sit in place and open your heart and go on that beautiful pilgrimage even without necessarily moving your feet. The moving of our feet on pilgrimage is not so much about the destinations that we reach because we are moving, but because the moving becomes a meditation itself. Anybody who's tried to embark on a deep meditative practice knows that there's only a certain number of hours, even if you are an intense meditator, that you can actually sit like this every day. And when you go on intense meditation retreats, in addition to this time, you'll do walking meditation. They'll get you walking as part of the meditation. Eating will be a meditation. So that it's a meditation retreat. Everything you do is meditation, but it's not all seated like this. The pilgrimage gives us the opportunity to essentially be in meditation all day long. Sometimes we sit like this, and sometimes we walk, we move. But every step is meant to be meditation. It's very easy to go into a sacred temple, have beautiful darshan, or come to a beautiful ceremony like this, have a beautiful experience, and then get back into our cars or buses, immediately pick up our phone, chat with each other, just immediately get out of the moment into normal life. On a pilgrimage, it's actually about how the journey changes you. So try to keep that spirit, that feeling, whether you're in a bus, whether you're in cars, whether you're walking, whether you're sleeping, whether you're praying. Allow every minute to be that. I remember when we went on pilgrimage to Kailash Mansarovar many years ago, and Pujya Swamiji in the first day, when we were in Kathmandu, he told everybody, he said, the rule for this yatra is the Sanskrit word for pilgrimage, for spiritual pilgrimage. So the rule for this yatra is less chatting, more chanting. Normally people like to chat. We're walking, we're hiking, we're chatting, we're sitting in the cars, we're chatting, we're sitting over meals, we're chatting. He said, less chatting, more chanting. Do your mantra. If you don't have a mantra, pick a mantra. It doesn't matter. Chant whatever it is that connects you to the divine. But chant instead of chat. And recognize that ultimately, where you're going is within yourself. And so recognize that every step along the way is going to give you a way to go deeper within. There will be hang-ups. Things that are supposed to happen don't happen. Things that are supposed to happen at 10 in the morning happen at 4 in the afternoon. And you've waited since 10 in the morning for it to happen. And it's the nature of life. It's especially the nature of India. And you've chosen a pilgrimage in India. So recognize that this is all part of your pilgrimage. It's not, oh my God, our pilgrimage is ruined because the car broke down. Or, oh my God, because the car didn't show up, or the driver this, or the hotel that. Recognize that is your pilgrimage. Okay, so today the pilgrimage is to sit and meditate along the side of the road while these guys try to figure out how to fix the cars. Today the pilgrimage is to get adopted by some local villagers who were kind enough along the side of the road to take us in and give us some tea while we wait for these guys to fix the cars. That is the pilgrimage. It's not, oh, the pilgrimage was great, except, oh my God, that day when the cars all broke down. That is the pilgrimage. Oh, you end up with a stomach bug? All right. Try not to have it happen, obviously, be careful, but, okay. There's some internal purification that needs to happen. This is my pilgrimage. And just allow every minute that you're going deeper and deeper within. The external journey is just to help you go within. Ultimately, you're going to the sacred site within. Because what makes all of these places you're going sacred is because the divine is there. In different forms, different ways, experienced by different people, or because it's where sages and saints meditated, wherever it is. It's the place of divine experience. But that experience doesn't happen in a piece of granite or marble. The experience happens in your heart. So, keep that heart open. More chanting, less chatting. And it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey that you're all on. I'll leave you with one more spiritual lesson that goes with another Hindi lesson. So you've learned yatra, which means pilgrimage. A lot of times people are very worried about something we call vyavastha. Vyavastha means arrangements, logistics, the accommodations, the food, all of the things that are taken care of for you. The arrangements is probably the best definition. And Vivesta's fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's good to have a toilet that flushes. It's nice to have some hot water if it's someplace where it's really cold. Nice to have a bed to sleep in. Nothing wrong with Vivesta. But you didn't come here from your cities and your countries for Vivesta. You came for something we call Asta. And Asta is faith. And so, too tragically, people lose the Asta in the Vivesta. Their minds are so wrapped up in, oh my God, my toilet doesn't flush, that they miss, oh my God, like where I am and the experience I could be having because I'm wrapped up in waiting for a plumber to show up. So you want to just make sure that you're anchored in Asta. Enjoy the Vivesta when it's there. Accept when it's not. And recognize that if what you were looking for ultimately was Vivesta, you would have gone to Paris instead. But you didn't, you came here. And so you've clearly come for something else, and allow that else to blossom. Beautiful, beautiful. Have a beautiful rest of your evenings. There will not be satsang for the next 4 days. I am going tomorrow to Abu Dhabi for a very large conference of religious leaders for the environment. You may or may not know that the COP28 is taking place in Dubai in December. And in a lead up to that, they are bringing religious leaders from all over the world and all different religions to come together to speak about and ultimately sign a declaration around the environment and the call from the religious and spiritual voices of faith. So it's a beautiful honor to have been invited to such an important event. So I will go there tomorrow. The program is the 6th and 7th. I'll be back on the 8th, but I won't be back in time for satsang. I'll be back 8th evening. So we will regroup for satsang on the 9th. I have no idea what day of the week that is, but I'm sorry? Thursday. Thank you. We will come back together on Thursday, and I hope that most of you will still have the blessing of being in Rishikesh on Thursday. If so, I look forward to seeing you then, and if not, just know that you are with us in our hearts, and we are together. We are together as one. And it's been such a joy to be with you this evening, and so much love to you all.